Hello everyone, welcome to Follow Your Heart here on the Natural Parent Magazine. I'm Ann Cullen, talking sleep training today. I get client after client coming to me and just people writing in saying they feel so alone because all of their friends, all the people in the antenatal group or their mom's coffee group or their family, they're all doing some form of sleep training, whether it be cry it out or even shush and pet routines, things like that. They're feeling really alone because they've made this decision. They don't want to certainly leave their baby to cry, and they really don't want to go down the sleep training path. So this video is to offer those of you that need a little bit of support, and for those of you that are on the fence and still wondering if you need to sleep train, you'll want to watch this as well. So what is sleep training exactly? Because, you know, there's obviously the leave the baby to cry for certain amounts of time and possibly going in to check on them and all kinds of systems that people are using. So those are the obvious sleep training methods. But then there's the not so obvious, and we have a lot of so-called gentle sleep consultants out there telling us, you know, they don't use cry it out. And that's great because maybe on the spectrum of sleep training that could be considered the worst form as far as I'm concerned and as far as your child is concerned. But these methods that are telling us that we are responsible to teach our children to sleep longer or fall asleep without needing help, that's still sleep training. You're still trying to teach your child to do something that they're not naturally doing on their own. So do you get that? It's like having classes to teach you how to get your kid to walk before they can walk. We don't do that. Like, kids will learn to walk when their brain development and their physical development is all lined up, and then they can walk. And it happens for some as young as 9 months, for others as old as 18 months or even beyond. Okay, so there's this big range of variance, and we seem to accept that quite a lot more than we do the variance in our children's need for support during sleep, because that's all it is. It's not that we need to be concerned about anything else if it feels like sometimes if our children can sleep without needing us. It seems like this is one of the biggest focuses, especially in the first year of parenting. Maybe beyond the first 2 or 3 months, we can accept it for a little while, but then it becomes this massive focus. And I see this is especially true in first-time mums. So let's get the focus, first of all, off of this. Your child is not going to be brain damaged or severely delayed in their development if they don't appear to be sleeping as much as some experts are telling you they're meant to be sleeping, or as much as somebody that's not calling themselves an expert is telling you your child's meant to be sleeping. Okay, they're most likely developing just fine. If you're really concerned, obviously seek some help, but this is the first myth, is that your child is going to somehow be developmentally delayed, that their brain can't develop if they don't sleep a certain amount of time. And so moms get very, very worried because we want the best for our kids. So let's put that myth to rest. And except in the most extreme cases, that is not going to be a problem. Next, it goes way beyond the first 3 or 4 months. It goes beyond that 4th trimester for many, many children, where they need support well into their 1st or 2nd or 3rd year, maybe beyond, during the night. They might really love to have someone lay with them or breastfeed them to get them to sleep. This is not something we have to teach them, differently about. This is perfectly fine, perfectly normal childhood behavior. So let's start thinking of it that way and way beyond the first 2 or 3 months of life. So if you are feeling the pressure, what can you do instead so that you're not having to sleep train or feel like you're supposed to? Well, you can do things like keep your child near you, whether that's with baby wearing or whatever it takes to keep your child near you. that can help them get to sleep. It can help them feel comfortable and safe. We want to do that for the first 6 months at least anyways, because that's safest for your baby. There's another video about that. You can also remember that this is a short time in your life and in your child's life. And as the mom of teenagers, I can assure you they will get past this stage in their development where they need you this much. Cherish this time as much as you can. And instead of obsessing about how much they're sleeping or obsessing about trying to get them to sleep without breastfeeding, for example, why don't you do some other things in your life, like get outside with them, go to the park with them, dance with them. You can do things to help yourself deal with the tiredness that comes from parenting a newborn or a toddler. You can possibly consider getting some paid help with something, getting your groceries delivered, having a cleaner every couple of weeks. Really look at what else can I do in my life? Do I need to just reach out for more help from my friends and family to help me get through this time? Do we need to let something in our lives go just for a little bit? It won't have to be forever. Then watch my video on creative sleep spaces or anything that gets you thinking outside the box of where your child needs to be sleeping and where you should be sleeping and all of that, because I get so many mums telling me they're off in the bedroom laying with their child, getting them off to sleep, and how much they hate it. Well, guess what? You don't have to do that, and you don't have to sleep train. So the other option is letting your child just fall asleep in the activity of the day, letting them fall asleep out in the living room with you, possibly even having a later bedtime. My youngest did not go off to sleep in a bed until he was about 3 years old. That is the truth. He would just crawl up with me on the couch and he would fall asleep in my lap. And once he was well asleep, I'd go pop him into his bed and we were all fine. Well, actually it was our bed, not his bed. Think outside the box. You don't have to be a slave to laying with your baby. You don't have to let your entire life change. So consider baby wearing, consider possibly having your child not falling asleep in the bedroom every time. Just consider some of these things and ask yourself, why do I feel like I need to do X, Y, or Z? And what could I give up? What could I change? What can I let go of? What can I learn to accept for this short time? If you're still feeling like you want more, obviously in this short video like this, I'm not going to give you all the ideas and support in the world, but let's share below. You mothers, share with us, how are you managing this time in your child's life without sleep training? And I'm really talking about not even the shush and pat routines, not trying to do any of that, but how are you just managing your life and your relationship where you are just allowing your child, your baby, your toddler, whatever it is, to sleep when they are ready to sleep. And you know, I want to hear from those of you who have learned to really accept them and their sleep habits for exactly as they are. It doesn't mean that you love every moment of it, but that you just accept that this is your child, this is their need, and you'll do what it takes to meet your child's needs. That's what this is all about, and really it's what our hearts tell us in parenting. But all the noise out there wants to take the emotion out of parenting, wants to take the heart out of parenting. So I'm here to put the emotion and the heart back in. There's nothing that matters more, literally, nothing that matters more than the connection that you have to your child. Nothing matters more than the relationship you build. And you build this by gaining their trust, by listening to them, by understanding and trying to meet their needs as best you can. So if you're sleep training or if you're contemplating it, think about what your real priority is. Because if your priority, like mine, is to connect with your children and have great relationships with them, then you won't even consider sleep training of any kind. You'll just want to be there for them, meet their needs, and figure out how to look after you in the process, okay? I don't want anyone to mistake that I am suggesting you should let yourself fall apart in the meantime. If you are, reach out for help, but comment below, give others some ideas, or reach out if you're one of the mums who's on the fence about this or feels like you're falling apart. Reach out to us as well. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, bye for now.